Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Heroes A to Z. As always, my name is Conman, and today we are checking out Auriel. She's our first support that we've gotten into so far. She's kind of a unique support in that she can be a playmaker, she's unique basically because she doesn't have any mana, and relies on her trait to kind of generate energy in order to heal. So, let's talk about that, and we'll start with the trait first. So, as I said, she doesn't have any mana. As you see right now, she's got what's called stored energy, 0 energy. The way she generates energy is by doing damage or by having teammates do damage on her behalf. So, she generates 40% of the damage dealt to heroes and 8% to non-heroes energy. So if I just attack this hero here, you'll see the energy bar goes up. Here's an ability, and she gets some energy. What I could also do is I can cast this crown on Malfurion, and now Malfurion, all the damage that the hero with the crown does generates energy. You see that energy bar went up much more quickly than it did when I was doing it by myself. You can see that this blue targeting area, as long as this person is within range, you can see as long as that's there, if I move away, this goes away. If I move back, now she's in range again, it's starting to glow some more. That's a pretty long range. This is a pretty decent range that the hero that you've tagged can generate energy for you. And that's how she generates energy, and the energy is used to heal. So we'll talk about healing just a second when we get to the W ability, but let's start with the Q. So the Q is Sacred Sweep. Sacred Sweep, 8-second cooldown. It kind of attacks, we'll toggle cooldowns here, kind of attacks in a cone. It does damage to everything it hits, and it does more damage in the center. So you see, if I take one step closer here, if I hit the side here, that's doing 175 damage. If I hit it in the middle, it does 175 plus an extra bonus 3 something at level 20, 351 at level 20. So this lets Auriel generate a lot of energy for herself. It can be decent for wave clear. She can kind of hit an entire wave of minions all in one shot. She can do damage to heroes. I call it sneaky damage. I think the damage on this in a talent, I think the damage of this recently was improved in a patch, the most recent patch that just came across, which helps her self-sustain and build up some energy. Speaking of energy, let's talk about the heal. The heal is called Ray of Heaven. So you've got to be within this range in order for it to cast, and it's an AoE, so anything in this circle is going to get healed. So I can cast it on myself, and I can heal. I can cast it on this healing dummy. You can hit multiple heroes at once, so I'm actually healing. I'm not, I'm at full health, but I'm hitting both of us at the moment, and every one point of sword energy is turned into healing. You see the 1152 that's jumping up when I'm healing this dummy. That's what I have. So at a full stack of energy, you can actually heal for quite a significant amount if you can get everyone in there. Now the trick is everyone's got to be standing within the circle, and that's that's not always possible within the heat of a battle. And 4-second cooldown on that, but again, you have to build up the energy to cast it again. So going back to your trait, what you're going to want to partner with, what Auriel will synergize very well with, excuse me, are heroes that are going to have, relatively high, consistent, sustained damage. People that are going to be generating damage, fairly frequently in order to keep this going up, as often as possible. So let's talk heroes like Gul'dan. He's going to be generating, he's got great wave clear, he's going to be doing a lot of damage to minions, he'll be throwing out range damage all the time. That's pretty good. Vala can be okay when she's chunking out damage, he can raise that energy bar up pretty quickly. Cho'Gall is fantastic because it counts for both of them, so both Cho and Gall, both of those guys, if they do damage, they'll fill her up pretty quickly. Heyo. Bad jokes aside, any hero like that is going to fill up her energy bar, and that will keep your team in the game. So you got to think about this, like when you're walking around and you're as you're Auriel, and you're deciding who to put the crown on, who's going to generate the most energy for you. So it's something to think about, and you can swap it pretty quickly. So you got about a second or so, 1.5 seconds in between changing it. So it's pretty quick to switch out in the middle of a fight, but it's something to think about, like who's going to do the most damage, who's going to get you the most energy, so you can keep healing your team. And then lastly, here we go. So we've got Detainment Strike. Detainment Strike is where some of your playmaking abilities come in. It's a skill shot, short range, but when you hit, it actually whips your target away. And if you hit them into terrain, as you see there, it actually stuns them. So this by itself, deals 262 damage. So it does a sneaky amount of damage for a quick, quick attack. And if you hit them into the terrain for the stun, it does actually bonus damage as another 262. So 14-second cooldown, kind of a long cooldown, but this is where some of her playmaking comes in. If somebody's in your face, you can whip them and knock them out of the way. You can knock them if you somehow, if someone jumps in your back line and they're trying to get away, you can whip them back into your team. You can knock them in the terrain and stun them and set up plays. So this is where Auriel can be a very aggressive healer. I kind of like sneak into the front line, throw a whip out, and kind of move out of the way. So proper, yeah, I just missed there. Proper aiming of the Tainment Strike is going to be very critical in the heat of a battle. You do get some talents to actually increase the range that the strike goes, which is a pretty significant amount. There's a quest talent at level 4, which I've taken occasionally, where you can increase if you do stun heroes with it, it will increase the damage. You get extra bonus damage on top of that. So more damage that you're casting, that you're applying, I should say, means more energy for you without having to rely on your team to actually generate that for you, and that's always a good thing. All right, so let's take a peek at the heroics. I think we're only going to really be able to show off one of them, but we'll check it out. First off, we have Crystal Aegis. Crystal Aegis, clearly the more popular of the heroics right now. 60-second cooldown, place an allied hero in stasis for 2 seconds, and it explodes into 640 damage to anyone in the area when it pops. So I can self-cast this, cast it on myself. There we go. I can't break it early. At least I can't while I'm stasis. I'm pretty sure I can't break it early against if I cast it on somebody else. I can go cast it on this dummy here. It'll still hit this. There we go, 640. So what this does, if you're in stasis, you are invulnerable. So you can cast this on someone who's about to get bursted down, or someone who's very low health and they're about to get killed. If they've got an ultimate coming their way, something that's going to cause a lot of harm to your team, you can drop it on that teammate. If they're low health, you're going to drop the stasis on them. It's going to explode and do damage. As soon as it pops, that damage generates energy. So, it's very... What you can do is you go like that. As soon as it pops, drop a heal. So it's going to do damage. You can get a heal off straight away. It's a good way to keep your team alive. It's not a cleanse. Auriel doesn't get a cleanse. So you can't really remove roots or stuns or stun or anything like that. But instead, you get Crystal Aegis. The other thing that she can do, I'm not going to be able to show it off, but I'll talk about it, is Resurrect. So Resurrect is kind of what it sounds like. You get to res a teammate. The reason I can't show it off is because Malfurion is not going to get himself killed here in try mode. Try as I might, he's just going to heal himself too much and then run away. But the way it works is, I don't think I can do it on this dummy. Nope, didn't think so. 120-second cooldown, so a much larger cooldown. Oh, Mal's going to get killed. Come on, Arthas. Ah, perfect. There we go. Look at this. So you see, you had a little ghost that was appearing there, and there, Malfurion is back. So let's talk about what just happened there. It was kind of quick in try mode. When your teammate dies, they leave a little ghost kind of where they were, so you can see where they died. If you cast this, it's got a 0.5 second cast time. 0.5 second cast time, and then after 5 seconds, your teammate will revive exactly where you cast it, where they died, at about 50% of their health. So the reason right now that this is not picked as often, I think on hot slogs right now, this is something like a 27% pick rate, and why Crystal Aegis is picked so much more, tends to be, in my opinion anyway, a win more talent. What I mean by win more is, you have a team fight. Maybe you lose somebody, but you win the team fight, and then you can res them, and you just win harder now. Now you have an extra hero backup, something along those lines. Or if somebody just is sneaky and gets picked off, maybe you can run in and revive them. Kind of a win more thing. It's tough for a couple of reasons. One, long cooldown. 2-minute cooldown, 120 seconds. 2, I've seen a lot in Quickmatch when people use it. It can be very effective in Quickmatch because it's less coordinated. But I've also seen a lot of times in Quickmatch where somebody gets killed, Auriel runs in, hits the Resurrect, the player reses after 5 seconds, and is already like just in the middle of the enemy team and immediately gets killed again. And that's just, now you blew a cooldown. The enemy team got 2 kills for that, for the basically for the price of 1. So you got to be careful. You have to be in a situation where, you know, you're confident that the person is going to res up and be safe. You're going to be able to get them to safety pretty quickly. I think the consensus is, with Aegis being half the cooldown, I think the general consensus is from the players, from the community, that it makes more sense just to keep your teammates alive in the first place than having them die and then resing them. You know, they did improve this recently in that same patch. I think previously this used to be a 3 second channeled cast, which made it very untenable to cast because you were just sitting there for 3 seconds casting this wide open, also not healing or do anything like that. So it is better than it was before, I think, but it's still not great. I don't take it. I think I've taken it once or twice just to kind of see how it plays out. I don't like it. You know, and the hot slogs, you know, the pick rate kind of speaks to that. You know, Aegis is almost 75%. I think it's got a higher win rate as well with Auriel. So, you know, generally Aegis is usually the way to go. Maybe they change that up later on to kind of improve pick rates. I'm not sure, but right now Aegis is kind of where we're going to go. So, with that being said, let's hop out here. We will hop into the quick match and we'll see what we get. Hopefully we'll get some team members that we can synergize with and keep healed up, who will generate us some energy. Also, first off, how freaking awesome is that skin? This is the Sakura skin. I love the wings. They are the kind of like the cherry blossoms coming down. It's fantastic. It's just too good. This skin, by the way, introduced in Heroes 2.0. Okay, so here we go. So I saw in our Tannis, I saw Kael'thas. Kael'thas is a good choice to synergize with, because he'll be tossing out, you know, living bombs, he'll be tossing out flame strikes. When he hits those, that's going to generate a bunch of energy for us pretty quickly. He's also kind of a squishy target, so he can benefit from the heals. And here we go, Hanamura again. Enemy team has got Diablo, Thrall, Abathur on a 3-man comp, Malfurion and Lunara, so they do have a healer. The Abathur will be interesting, although we do have a Medivh, so I kind of like where this goes. Should be good. These are reasonably matched comps. No craziness. Healer on each side, got a tank on each side, some range DPS on each side, so should be fun. I kind of, you know, if our Medivh is pretty good, I like our chances there. I think the portal hopping can be great when you're, you know, kind of pushing the cart back and forth, kind of sneak in between enemies. I imagine even Tychus can be a decent shot when he's within range. They did lower his range and some of his abilities recently, but when he's, you know, he's got minigun going off on people, you can generate some energy pretty quickly as well. Alright, so let's start off. I'm going to start off with... It's always a tough shot to see where we want to go. I'm going to go with this. This is going to increase the cast speed of my Sacred Sweep pretty quickly. So that's where I'm going to pick level 1. I do at times like to go Searing Light. Searing Light will deal damage to enemies caught in your heal, up to 30% of the damage. It's not something you're going to want to cast actually, you know, damage people, but if the enemy team has a lot of like ranged, or excuse me, melee damage, they're going to be in your face. You can heal your team while doing damage to them at the same time. I've also used it at, you know, in desperate situations to heal people, or to reveal people, excuse me, not just heal people, but to reveal, because it does damage in an AoE, kind of pop a Nova or a Zeratul of some kind. Looks like, okay, so we've got our Tannis, and Tychus went down for us on the bottom level. We've got a 3-man group up top. I'm okay with this.
With surety of purpose.
Get some early energy. See, look at that. That flame strike in that group of minions really increased. See, I made a mistake there. I actually hit Diablo. Out of the flame strike range. Not so great. And I called that I did it. So they get a 3-man going down. Medivh is going to go help them out. I'm going to hang out up here just for a little while longer.
For the high, as was ordained.
Grab that globe, make sure we've got that.
If it must be.
So you can see by the locust, Abathur
For the
is
high
up
heavens.
here.
Harmony in all things. Salvation is
Now I'm at full energy. At this point, I can cast this pretty much whenever I want. I don't have a need to cast it right now.
of Almayash's throne. Harmony in all things.
There you go, come on.
The flame of Almayash is upon you.
Okay, here we go. Now we've got company, so I want to be careful. So now he's got his healer up to help him out. The carts are about to go.
For the high heavens.
I'm gonna heal myself with that one, actually.
I shall not waver.
So both team members here are, both teams are about to get level 4. Looks like the enemy team has a slight XP advantage.
As was ordained.
So we're going to go here. I would like to stay and push one of the lanes, but I'm also not going to go solo. So I'm going to hang out with the team. We definitely don't need a 5-man to push this.
Select attack.
The enemy team is going to push. They're going to get it. So this is just going to be a wash. We're both going to get ours at about the same time.
Enemy payload firing. Payload firing upon enemy core.
I think we beat theirs by a few seconds. So that's okay.
A worthwhile endeavor.
Let's hang out on the bottom side for a bit. See if we can get some push on this fort. I imagine they're going to come. Oops, that was a bad detainment strike. As you can see here, Abathur dropped down to the bottom level. I'll just heal both of you guys up. We're not really having any trouble gathering energy, so
Reason be heard.
I'd like to grab maybe some mercs would be nice. Those are pretty useful.
Verily so.
Payload deployment beginning for both teams.
Alright, so we're in the bottom. That's where their payload is. We're going to want to be careful because they're clearly going to come down and want to push that. So we might have some ink shortly.
There is always hope.
Here we go. Here comes Thrall. You guys can go away. Not that I expect Menip to do a whole bunch of damage.
Payloads deployed. Escort your payload.
So I'm going to hang out here with Tychus. When they push the cart, they're going to have to come through us. And it looks like they are pushing the cart, so we should expect incoming shortly. We do have Menip here as well to help us out. We are pushing our cart.
Heavens. A worthwhile endeavor.
Let's see if he's going to be able to get or Abathur. Abathur sees it and runs away. Here we go. Here comes the ink. They only have Thrall pushing this.
Select talent.
Walk in the light. Your evil ends here. Reason be heard.
Here.
Here we go. Good kill.
Salvation is at hand. Wherever I am needed.
And the cart is going back down. I'm going to hit this. So I took at level 7.
Your evil ends here.
Was energized cord. Basically, it just means that I do more damage myself. I do more energy generation myself, which can be useful. I like. There are a couple of ways to go at level 7, which I will talk about at the end. I missed that detainment strike, but the cart is still going backwards, so that's good for us. Our cart seems to be they're having a
If it must be.
Our cart seems contested as well. But remember, they have Abathur, so they're down a body.
Reason be heard.
Hero slain.
There's a kill from the minions. Good job.
Shall not waver.
So what I would really like to do, go away, is push this
Of all my
down.
ashes upon you.
Come on, guys. There we go. Have a heal.
Will be redeployed shortly.
For the high
So our team's doing very well. So now we're about to have 2 carts for both teams.
I shall not waver.
There he goes. Now we ticked on the fort. Now we've got the extra shot on our cart. I'm gonna come up and help. They're pushing theirs.
Verily so.
Their enemies
There's a little bit of a heal. I don't have too much energy at the moment. Okay, so there's a couple of shots. I'm gonna head back down and contest some more. Here's Crystal Aegis. Can't cast that while he's.
Harmony in all things.
Actually,
Reason be heard.
let me take one of these. Here you go. Here's some damage on me that I'll heal up.
All things.
He's gonna get that. Yes, he does. Nice.
Thank you, healer.
So we're cleaning house right now. We already have our ultimates. They're still at level 9. We're gonna turn this in. Boom. We're gonna have a 3 to 6 shot, but they do have both payloads active.
Flame of all my ashes upon you.
Thanks for the energy. Alright, I'm gonna cycle up here. Oh,
Have courage.
if it's only Malfurion, I can kind of trade with him for a little bit, but here comes Thrall, so now I need to back off. I really can't do anything on this cart. 2v1 with Thrall around. Here, however...
I shall not waver.
Enemy payload.
Alright, so they got the payload.
And none shall harm you. Reason be heard. As was intended.
Hero slain. Double much.
Not the cleanest exchange.
A worthwhile endeavor.
Kill streak. Hero slain.
If it must be.
Double
There
kill.
we go. I'm gonna Hearth here
I shall return.
because I'm at low health and I have no energy. We have a 5 to 3 lead in the core. They still have a payload up.
In all
I would love to
things.
get some murky mercs. That would be nice.
Select a talent.
Team doesn't seem too inclined to go for the merc camps.
Wherever I am needed. Reason
Can we get a pull?
Hero slain.
Mm.
Hero slain.
I shall not waver.
Mayhem.
You favor me, friend.
Hero slain. Is always
Valor suits you,
your
friend.
pain. Redeployed shortly.
Ends here.
Can't type apparently.
Slain. Enemy force destroyed.
That's great.
Well designed.
We now have 2 shots on our next payload when it spawns, which it is.
For the high heavens.
away.
Your payload has been redeployed.
Their payload got pushed back a bit. I'm going to hang out with my team. Medivh is going to go scout. So this will give us, if we turn this in, this will give us 1 shot remaining on their core. I really would love to take some mercs. Nobody seems to want to do that. But,
If it must be.
yeah,
Your payload
there we go,
will
good
be
job.
redeployed shortly.
That being said, we are, we still have a 2-level lead,
There is
which is
always
pretty big.
hope. I shall not wait.
Have some heals. Have some more heals.
Verily so.
Your payload has been
It's a pretty hectic team fight.
Your evil is here. Walk in the light.
Get stunned. There we go. Good follow-up. Didn't get that off in time, unfortunately.
will be redeployed shortly.
I'm gonna push. Maybe not. We're just gonna push further.
Flame of Alma ashes upon you. Harmony in all things.
Thank you, healer.
Their cart's going backwards.
For the high.
There we go. Okay,
Payload
cash
firing
in.
on enemy core.
So, we need 1 shot
The enemy's
on the core. So the
payload
next
has
payload,
been
which is up.
redeployed.
Here we go. This will be game for us if we get this. I'm gonna head over here and get this started.
Verily so.
There's a little bit of heals anyway. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. They're going to turn. There's at least one of them up there, turning theirs in. So this already, at
Enemy
most, can be a
payload
3-on-5, 3-on-4. Here's the other one. Here's where the action
There
starts.
is always
Select a talent.
Yep, here we go. They're not even going to contest this. That's a pretty clean game.
Payload firing upon enemy core.
GG. Good job, team. Well played. That was well done by the team. I liked it. We were on point across the board. So let's talk about... So, you heard me talk about mercs a couple of times. I think the mercs on this map are very, very strong. The turret that you can get for the reinforced camp sits there. You can drop it on the cart as you go by. That's really good. Give some love to Tychus. He was on point. That's really good. The recon camp can be great when you have stealthers because it will reveal you. There's a support camp which you can actually use for bonus heals for anyone in the area. All the mercs are very, very strong. I think we had a pretty clear map advantage. I would have loved to have taken some of those. Otherwise, no, that was pretty good. We were able to turn in while stopping the enemy team from turning in theirs most of the time. I think it's the quickest and the cleanest game that I've played on Hanamua so far. So I'm okay with this. So let's talk talents and why we took the talents that we took. Kind of what we were thinking, what the mindset was. Alright, look at that. Daily quest. Hooray. Alright, talents. Level 1. I took Swift Sweep. Increases the cast speed of Sacred Sweep by 50%. I didn't see, normally I'll take Searing Light, which is what I mentioned, where your heals will do damage to those caught in them. I'll take that when they have a lot of melee damage. Sometimes I'll do it if they've got some stealthers that have to engage from melee. I'm looking at you, Zeratul or Valera. But since the enemy team didn't have any of those, I went with Swift Sweep. Basically just increases the cast speed. You saw my sweep is going much more quickly than normal. Just means I can hit more things in the center of the sweep than I normally would. That's pretty good because that's bonus energy for me. Here then I went repeated offense. Every time Detainment Strike stuns a hero, increases the stun damage by 10, not 10%, just 10, up to 60. And after 6 heroes, increases this damage bonus to 250. I didn't actually complete this quest. I think I only managed to hit 3 people. My thought process here is where they're going to be running around. As the payloads go, you're kind of going to be running in between the terrain. There are going to be a lot of places where I was able to use this. Ultimately, I just really used this more to knock people away. I didn't get the stuns, so I didn't unfortunately complete this quest. I do like this ability. If you're going to be in a place, you're going to be in a map where there's a lot of areas to knock people into walls, and you're good at it, this is a solid one to take. Level 7, I went Energized Cord. Increases energy stored from Auriel's basic attacks to 100% against heroes and 50 against. So this essentially more self-sustain, so to speak. I can have a better chance to build up my own energy on my own without my team, although my team did a fantastic job as well. An alternative pick that I often take at level 7 is called Bursting Light. Bursting Light will reduce the cooldown of Ray of Heaven by 2 seconds. So you can just, bang out heals more often if your team is generating energy. We clearly had the advantage. We were doing well. I didn't feel like that was going to be necessary. So I just let's just get up the heals that I have to cast at level, that's the 4-second cooldown, make them more powerful, and so I took Energized Cord. No question here, took Crystal Aegis, kind of mentioned that's the way I was going to go from the get-go. I did, fire it off on a couple of heroes, unfortunately wasn't able to save them, kind of, may or may not have been my fault. Tychus might have been able to get out of that one. He might have been able to dash out of that one. I didn't see if he still had that up. But you kind of see where it goes. I was able, even though Tychus died, I was able to generate some energy off the explosion and give him one last heal before he finally went down. Alright, Repelling Strike at level 13. Enemies hit by Detainment Strike are knocked back 35% farther. This is pretty big. That's actually a significant distance. Makes it much easier to knock enemies to the walls or just get them the heck out of the way if they're a threat to you. This is my most commonly picked ability, I think, at level 13. Level 16, Quest, Reservoir of Hope. Each maximum energy ray of heaven I cast increases the maximum amount of energy that can be stored by 75. So, every time I cast a full max heal, the energy that I can possibly store just goes up by 75. So what this means, if you're consistently getting full heals, full energy casts, it means your heals are going to be more powerful, which is great. It's good against burst damage. This can synergize with Searing Light, that level 1 talent that I mentioned. If you're casting more powerful heals, it means the damage coming from Searing Light is going to be more powerful. Again, you don't use your Ray of Hope to you don't use a Ray of Hope to damage people, but if it's there, then yeah, it can be a little helpful here. I like this one a lot. I think our team, again, at level 16, we didn't even get to 20, as you saw. We were doing quite well, clearly getting all the energy that I needed, so I thought this one would have worked out pretty well. Level 20 is an interesting one. I like, there's a talent at 20, I forgot the name here, for Crystal Aegis, where the teammate gets a shield for a few seconds after they pop out of it. That one's pretty strong. That might have saved that Tychus in that one time. There's Shield of Hope. Grant all nearby allied heroes a shield for 3 seconds equal to 50% of the amount of health they are missing. So if you've got a bunch of heroes that are very low, you can kind of pop that, and that could be a lifesaver. So those are kind of the ways to go. She used to get, I don't know if she still does, she used to get almost a fly, kind of like a Falstad, where she could get like a semi-global presence around the map. I didn't find that to be too useful. It could have been helpful here, trying to go back and forth between the carts. I don't know. Chances are I would have just gone with the improved Crystal Aegis. I think that would have been the best bet in this particular map, just the way it was going. But hope you had some information here on how Auriel can play out. What you're going to want to do. You saw that I spent most of the time. I had Kael'thas. Kael'thas had it. I had Tychus had it. A couple of times I had Artanis in the hat because he was going in deep. So you want to gather up as much energy as possible, and that's going to power your heals. And I think we did okay. If we look at the overall stats, yeah, I mean it was a clear just steamroll more or less. I think the enemy team still had 5 shots. We had 5 shots left on our core. I had no deaths. That's good, which means I didn't get caught out of position. Tychus MVP, no doubt. Lots of siege damage, all the XP. No, it was a good game for us. I hope that was educational. As usual, I will post up this talent build up on Heroes Hearth. I'll probably put in some comments. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you think or what you want to see. Thanks very much, and look forward to the next episode when we polish off the A's and we check out Azmodan. Alright, take care.